Believing we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us was an incredibly labor-intensive process. After the initial concept was done, with computer modeling and a 3D imaging designer, came the structural engineering, which was pretty complex, figuring out the plinth and the piles that had to go into the ground, as well as the structure that stood underneath the figures. After that came CNC routering of the figures out of urethane, and then we covered them with a hydrocal plaster and molded them. Then came what we call the skin. Thousands of stainless steel washers were then welded to one another in chainmail fashion over the plaster forms, creating a skin that was then removed and reassembled over the steel armature later after it was cleaned. And so we removed the plaster forms to create a skin that could fit over the structure. We created the structure on its side in the studio so that it could function as a rotisserie, and we could turn it and work on each figure. We had to cut the structure apart into 3 parts then to have it travel across country. We loaded it up onto a flatbed truck and drove it ourselves, which was quite an adventure. When we arrived in New Orleans, we had to remove the sculpture with a forklift and lift it into place onto the plinth that we had constructed with the forklift and a crane and using a boom. It had to be re-welded together and then cleaned, and then we installed the amber-colored LEDs so that at night it could have a golden glow. The new University Medical Center in New Orleans replaced former local hospital facilities, and this project is meant as a site-specific as well as a thematic-specific response to the suffering of the patients at Charity and Toro and the other hospitals that were damaged in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina. It is meant as a monument to the countless acts of heroism of medical personnel who stayed at their patients' sides. They were often hand-pumping breathing machines to keep newborns alive as the power went out. So this is a tribute to the people of New Orleans, but especially to those brave souls, both the patients and the medical titans who persevered despite the devastation all around them. This vessel-like form is to be like a trophy. And one could only stand on each other's shoulders and lean out as far as one can while holding hands through trust and cooperation.